Is it an addiction?
Is it an addiction? No, I don't think it's an addiction. I think it does put me, it makes me happy. But no, it's not an addiction.
So, for once in my life, let me get what I want. Lord knows.
You're gonna live with me now. Huh? I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Welcome to the Wednesday ranking show. Wanking show, different show. Starting hot. Yeah, wait till our hot tub streams start going. I'm Zach Bruner, Luke Reimer in the middle, Trevor Land on the right. Apologies, we didn't get to do a waiver wire show earlier this week. I almost did one at like 2 a.m. that night because that was the only time I had free. Was interested to see who would tune in. Let me know if you would have tuned in. And then I fell asleep at the computer. So probably a better idea because it would have turned into one of those weird fucking sleep streams where people like watch people go to sleep.
Crazy.
And I don't get it. I don't know if I talk in my sleep, but if I do, I can't imagine it's going to be fun stuff. Like there's going to be no filter then. And believe it or not, I have some sort of a filter right now.
Stu would have loved it.
I don't know. I mean, even that's a little weird for Stu. Stu, shout out Stu if you're here already. But this is the Wednesday ranking show. We go over my rankings that are on Fantasy Pros and of course flurrysports.org. They are half PPR scoring because that is what Fantasy Pros grades me on. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get into it? We're kind of on our own schedule because it's just us three for Lombardi sweep after this. So, we get to do what we want. Kids home alone. Too many what?
Too many buys this week. For fantasy relevant teams.
I think I started my fantasy rankings article with "Welcome to Hell." So
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at this week. 6 buys. Injuries to everybody. It's bad where it's like this fantasy year, there was a shit ton of running back injuries and all the 0 RB people were like, see, we figured it out. We cracked the code. We're so smart. And then all their running backs got hurt. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh no, like this is terrible. Like it's been a hell of a year.
You think all the running backs get hurt is karma for them bitching about not getting paid?
I'd like to think so.
It's got
shut your mouth. Yeah,
right.
Give me too much lip. Fantasy guys don't like it. That's right. Vince Lombardi's looking down. It's like anyone can run a fucking sweep if I scheme it up right.
Right.
And hey, so Kyle Shanahan's looking to prove this week if Christian McCaffrey's out, which he may be, and he may not be. He is telling us nothing about his injury. He's telling the team nothing about his injury from what I've heard. And we'll get to him later. But boy, it's so confusing. Let's start with quarterbacks, though. Weird quarterback week because of the bye weeks, but also because if people don't know this yet, we're going to get some weather this weekend is what it seems like. It seems like a lot of high wind in some places. From my memory, I believe Philadelphia, Miami could be impacted. I believe Baltimore. Who does Baltimore play? Baltimore, Detroit could be impacted. It could be bad. But I'll just start out. My QB1, obviously, I'm not worried about his passing, apparently. I have Jalen Hurts against the Dolphins. I have Lamar Jackson 2 versus the Lions. Josh Allen 3 at the Patriots. I think that game could be windy as well. Patrick Mahomes 4 versus the Chargers, and Justin Herbert 5 at the Chiefs. I'll say off the bat, I believe the consensus number 1 quarterback is still Patrick Mahomes, so that is a obvious difference in my ranking, I will say. But Luke, what's your thoughts on those 5?
Yeah, like cool. I'm with it. Like Jalen Hurts at 1. I mean, I'm assuming that you are predicting a kind of not I want to say shootout, but a high scoring matchup in that game.
Yeah,
he didn't look great last week.
No. I mean, the Jets defense does that to people, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly playing with a shoulder injury.
Yeah. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him run harder. He braces for hits, which we hadn't seen out of him the last couple of years, which I understand. Just as someone who has a lot of fantasy stock in Jalen Hurts, that kind of sucks. I would guess the same thing as I said about kind of a high scoring matchup with the Baltimore Detroit game this week. So I love Lamar up there.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts didn't look good last week, and was he quarterback 1 last week? If he wasn't, he was right at 20 points. I mean, he had a good game fantasy wise. So, we talk about high floor. He's got one of the highest, and if it's you'd think they'd be running more, and even if not, he's playing Miami. He shouldn't have trouble with that defense. So he's pretty foolproof on there. And Kansas City Chargers, hopefully we actually get the shootout that we want. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a shootout in LAC Dallas, but I don't even know about that. I don't know about either of these teams, at least not right now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of like fantasy people this week talking about, oh, this quarterback hasn't looked good, this quarterback's looked good or whatever. Like, which quarterback looked good last week?
None.
Like last week, it was none. It was pretty terrible. Maybe, like, honestly, just from my memory, I feel like Derek Carr and Jared Goff.
Yeah, I was going to say Jared Goff was fine.
That's a disgusting thing to say. But yeah, I think those 2 may have been the better ones. I don't know. It wasn't great. So hopefully a bounce back this week. I think there's some better matchups. I mean, actually, you know who has looked really good? I think Lamar Jackson's looked phenomenal this year, to be completely honest. He doesn't have the highlight plays. Part of that, at least passing wise, is because his receivers slap the ball down instead of trying to catch it.
Yeah.
But he's obviously done less scripted running, but I think he's looked really fucking good, especially throwing the ball.
I agree. His receivers weren't blatantly playing cornerback. Yeah, I don't disagree with Stoof either. Josh Dobbs has been looking fine too.
He looks like Charlie Villanueva.
Yeah, he does. But I came on the show and I said that this dude sucks at football and he's by far the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. That's not true right now.
Before we get to Penguin's question, if you have out of your $100 fab, so what percentage of your remaining fab would you be willing to spend on Kyler Murray right now, knowing what the quarterback landscape is?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. Obviously, it depends on where you're at with quarterback, but I think if you're in need of a quarterback, I'm willing to spend for Kyler Murray because he's going to run.
I think it depends on your IR slot. I think you should be picking them up anyways, but some leagues don't have an IR slot, or if it's filled by somebody, then I think you're paying a little less. But there's no reason to not put a decent amount of change on him.
That's a very political answer. Yeah, IR slot's a little bit irrelevant just because he's owned in the IR slot leagues. But like, I'm just trying to think of which quarterbacks you may have drafted. I mean, if you drafted Joe Burrow, like, what are you spending on Kyler Murray? Because you're not happy with Joe Burrow so far.
There's brighter skies ahead for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree, but
I'm not spending for Kyler Murray if I have Joe Burrow.
Okay, what if you have Geno Smith?
Yes. I would spend at least $50.
At least half your fab?
At least half.
Interesting. Okay. I would like, I don't know if I'd go half, but I would like to get him. For those who don't know, activated that 21-day practice window this week. That he's not playing this week. I've seen some confusion with that. I don't think he plays next week. I think it's going to be the week after. How close is that to Halloween? Halloween week. Imagine that. Go back to training camp and listen to what I said.
Is there a new Call of Duty game that comes out around that time, though? That's an important question to ask.
The beta just came out.
That's why he's got 2 weeks.
Yep.
Penguins start sit PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. We got a whole job to do here, I guess. Brees Hall, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson on bye. His running backs are Josh Jacobs, Jerome Ford, Jonathan Taylor, Rashad White. Receivers are JSN, Christian Watson, Chris Olave, and Chris Godwin. Also, should I trade JSN for Rashid Rice? I would not do that.
No.
So 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex.
I mean,
I'm starting Jacobs, White, Jonathan Taylor, probably Christian Watson. No, Olave and Godwin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yep.
Yeah. McAdoo's on multiple sites, just trashing the host right now. Interesting
Crazy.
choice. I know. Go to YouTube next, and it's going to be shots at me.
It's not like we're coworkers or anything.
Yeah, I thought we were friends, or even more coworkers. Other notable, I have Gardner Minshew at 23. I don't think last week's indicative of what we'll see going forward. He was pretty bad last week.
Yeah.
Still passed for over 300, but he didn't look good. I think he'll be better. Tyson Bagent is starting for the Bears, and I am lucky enough to say that I am starting him in a league this week.
What was that?
It's
Why?
Ryan Tannehill was my QB2 in a super flex, and he's the only starting quarterback available. So it's going to be him or like somebody like AJ Dillon, and I'd rather start.
Should start Malik Cunningham.
No.
Malik Cunningham would be more fun.
I don't think it would. Not the way they use him.
No, Zach, that sucks. I feel for you.
I'm not bad in that league either. That's why it's like it's a kick in the nuts. Like I'm like second.
Right.
It's not great. Desmond Ridder, against all odds, has been a top 10 quarterback in back-to-back weeks. I think that's more matchup based than anything. Houston and Washington. He has Tampa this week, which is a little tougher. We'll see. Like he looked terrible last week the
last couple of weeks.
He was bad last week, but he was top 10 quarterback. That's why it's like, who looked good last week? Nobody. Interesting spot start, I will say. Actually, this guy might fucking save me. Holy shit. I didn't even think about this. If Trevor Lawrence is out on Thursday, I'm starting CJ Beathard. I like CJ Beathard.
I'd rather start Beathard than Bagent.
Yeah, I would say. 100%.
Why aren't the Bears starting Nate Peterman?
What's that going to help?
I do want to see Nate Peterman start again.
I think they cut him. He might be their third quarterback. Emergency situations, I guess. I don't know. I think they should call Jake Cutler. I'd be fine with that.
What's his name back? Played at the Buccaneers.
Josh Freeman? Was he there?
No.
Oh, no. Is he or Robert Glennon? Mike Glennon.
Okay, Mike Glennon back.
Yeah, the Sky Cam.
Dude had the longest neck I've ever seen.
I know. It was impressive. He threw that thing around too. Quarterbacks I'm higher on. I'm 3 higher on Lamar Jackson at 2. And this will change. I assume I'm 7 higher on Deshaun Watson at 14. People don't know if he's playing or not. I'm sure his team doesn't know if he's playing or not. Fuck that guy. I am 4 lower on Trevor Lawrence at 18, and he will stay there regardless. Well, not regardless if he's healthy or not. I'm ranking him as if he does play. So I'm not hedging my bet there. And that's about it, I suppose. Any quarterback to talk about?
Did you think at all coming into this year, Zach, that you'd be ranking Sam Howell top 10 quarterback?
No, but I mean, if we are being honest, he's not getting enough credit right now.
Not at all. He's playing well.
I think he has the brain of a toddler, but I think he has a top 5 arm in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Washington rolls with him for the future too.
I don't think they do. I think they fall apart. Ron Rivera gets fired, and then they're gonna have and then the new guy's gonna pick the new quarterback. Like, I don't think Howell should get cut or passed over, but that's my guess. And they'll probably change the name again. That's a real possibility too.
Mm-hmm. Go back to the football team.
Go back to the racist one. I don't know. Spice it up.
Football team was good.
Give us a reason to hate you.
Good, but it was good.
They did it wrong. Washington football team, not great. I would have rather DC football club. DCFC is kind of cool.
No, that's soccer.
Yeah, but no one cares about soccer. We can just kind of take it. We can kind of take it.
You steal it.
I mean, we already have the best soccer league in the world, the best soccer player in the world.
It's facts.
Like,
that's not debatable.
Yeah. Washington Redskins. I mean, that's essentially what it was. Washington Packers has a nice ring to it. Sure. Let's move them. Let's move them out of Green Bay. I'm sure people would love it.
No.
What would people do?
What would people do? They would riot in the streets, and Green Bay would go from 120,000 people to 0 people very quickly due to all the deaths that would happen by people rioting for alcohol infused negligence.
I'm fine with that. And Jeff Bezos has enough money to do that. Like, if anyone's going to become an owner, he could do it, and he's from DC area, so he just moves them there. We'll have 2 teams in the capital.
Don't want that.
And then, when you win, you can say storm the Capitol, and then all the fans rush the field.
Kinda cool. They should have 2. Yeah, and then have 2 teams in the Capitol. One be the Washington Republicans, one be the Washington Democrats. Incredible.
I'm sure it won't get heated whatsoever. That would be great. Which side are you going to pick? That would be very fun.
Right.
Washington Supersonics. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Washington Senators. Blah. Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. Running backs. Half PPR scoring. Number 1, I have Austin Eckler at the Chiefs. Number 2, surprise to you and me, I have Kenneth Walker versus the Cardinals. Ooh. That's where we're at. I have Josh Jacobs 3 at the Bears, DeAndre Swift 4 versus the Dolphins, Raheem Mostert 5 at the Eagles. Trevor, what about that 5?
I really hope this is the most depressing the top 5 running backs are this entire season. Austin Eckler will have a big role, and that's all well and good, but I mean, Josh Jacobs, he struggles to average more than 3.5 yards per carry. I'm pretty sure Kenneth Walker, we know who he is. Swift and Mostert at 4 and 5. They're not bad running backs. I'm not saying that at all, but they shouldn't be top 5 guys. So I think that just shows how crazy the buys are this week. If you can get really any solid production out of any running backs outside of Eckler, I think that's an absolute win, because I don't think there's anything guaranteed this week.
Trevor, I agree with you. That kind of felt like last week, too. Actually, in a league, I started Zeke and Salvin Ahmed, and they both scored touchdowns, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like, Eckler probably had a bad week last week, right? Maybe coming off the injury, playing a very good Dallas defense. You would imagine that the Chargers offense kind of gets rolling a little bit, running through him. You guys know my thoughts on the Dolphins. I'm all in on them, so I love Mostert on the top 5 here. And Ken Walker, I was low on him to start the year, but the guy, he's scoring touchdowns. Not necessarily running for thousands of yards or anything, but he's finding the end zone. And really, in a year like this, that's what works for fantasy. So Zach, I'm all for it having him, top 3 there.
Yeah, Ken Walker, top 14 running back every week since week 1, top 12 in 3 of those 4 weeks. So he's gotten volume, and to your point, he's scoring touchdowns, which is, I know we talked about him in the preseason. Like, that's the one thing we just thought he wouldn't do. We just figured Charbonnet would be the hammer on the goal line. We'll get to those questions in a second. Other notable running back situations. I trust Javonte Williams. People are kind of confused with that
Yeah.
backfield. I trust him. He's very good. He's clearly the best one there, and he plays Green Bay. So that's a win. Roshan Johnson, I think, will get cleared and will be the starter for the Bears this week. I don't think they give him a massive workload, but I think he'll have the majority of the snaps, and I think he'll be good enough to be a low-end RB2 flex, similar situation as Jahmyr Gibbs for me.
Yep, agreed.
Mm-mm-mm.
I think it's kind of an opportunity where when I've seen Roshan Johnson get after week 1 in garbage time, I feel like this is kind of an opportunity where they can really show what they have a little bit in them.
Right. Rams backfield. People are putting a lot of confidence in Zach Evans, and it breaks my heart because I thought he was going to be really good this year. I thought he was going to have a big role. I was way on him, and he's not someone I'm rushing to this week. You talked about Selvin Ahmad, the same player, Myles Gaskin. He's the RB2 now for the Rams. He is back in the spotlight. Then you got Royce Freeman's the RB3. They just signed Darrell Henderson to the practice squad. I assume he'll be one of the elevations on game day. So if you look at that, should be Cam. No, it shouldn't. No. But like you look at those four, and I don't know how you say, oh yeah, Zach Evans is the guy getting all of the touches, or even enough to be what everyone's ranking an RB, low end RB2 kind of flex guy. I don't trust it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It feels like kind of just, if you're starting Zach Evans, it feels like you're kind of just taking a shot in the dark and hoping that, it works out. And I'm cool with that, to be honest, if you're in desperate need of it. But to your point, Zach, like I'm not looking at, Zach Evans coming away with 150 yards and 2 touchdowns on 30 carries in this game or anything like that.
And this isn't even like a Jerome Ford situation for me. I think Zach Evans is super talented. I seen people say he was the premier waiver wire pickup this week. And like he has all the talent in the world to be that player. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's this year.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Trevor, I kind of cut you off. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that every year I feel like this happens. Obviously, early week waiver wires, it's always scrambling, a lot of great options. And it always seems like about this time every year, one running back goes down. We automatically look at the depth chart, maybe it was Evans, and just rush to him and immediately put all our faith in him. And that's just not usually how it works mid-season. They have a lot of guys there, obviously bodies, a lot of mouths to feed. And I don't think you'll have a huge role. I mean, you can do worse, but I mean, if you're expecting RB1, RB2 production, you're going to be disappointed.
Stu says Evans was number 1 in Bijan's running back class out of high school. And you know what? Fair enough. I'll backtrack everything I just said. Interesting question here from D's Nuts. So essentially, which one of these guys do you value the least rest of season? Essentially, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson. Okay. I don't know why. I could only think of Michael Wilson. I'm like, there's no way that's Michael Wilson. And Michael Pittman. Which one do you value the lowest, Luke?
Probably Michael Pittman, right? Nico Collins, maybe it's Nico Collins. It's probably between Nico Collins and Michael Pittman for me. Like I'm still high on Zay Flowers. We've talked about off the top here. Lamar Jackson's look good. They'll keep going to Zay Flowers. Zach Wilson has looked awesome the last couple of games, and I think Garrett Wilson has to continue to be involved for the Jets to, stay afloat, which to everyone's surprise they actually are. So I would imagine Garrett Wilson stays involved with this offense. Nico Collins, I don't know. He kind of found the end zone a couple times to start the year. It's kind of been looking at it, so maybe I'm hanging on him too long. But once again, it's another situation where I just have no stock in Michael Pittman. It's like the 8th straight year where I have no idea what's going on with Michael Pittman, and that doesn't excite me at all. Gardner Minshew is a fine quarterback, but are you ever, starting Michael Pittman confidently? I don't think so.
I'm different. I think Pittman is just fine for what he is. He's never going to be a wide receiver 1. You're never going to love him as a wide receiver 2, but I don't think that's what people have him at anymore, at least. I would value Collins the least. To your credit, Luke, I think Pittman's the second least. But I'd trade away Collins before I trade away him.
I think all 4 of these players are sort of undervalued right now. So I don't know if I'm trading away any of them. However, I think it would be Collins for me. But again, I think he's fine. I think he's good. Motion man. PPR, Montgomery, Brees Hall are out. Probably. I don't know if Montgomery's officially ruled out yet. Who should I start between Zach Moss, Zach Evans, any of the Bear running backs, or any of the Niners running backs? I think I'm probably going Roschon Johnson.
I'm doing Zach Moss and Roschon.
I'm going Zach Moss.
Okay.
Oh, is it start 2 or start 1?
I think it's 1.
Then I'm doing Zach Moss.
Did he say start 2?
He said start 1. Only need 1, by the way, right after.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Trying to find where I even have Zach Moss ranked. Well, I have him ranked 24th. So yeah. Roschon Johnson's 20th for me.
I think you can start Zach Moss until Indianapolis gives you a reason not to start Zach Moss, if that makes sense.
I think that's fair. I just, workload's trending in the wrong direction.
Right.
We don't need to predict that stops. Eric, should I trade Nico Collins for Puka Nacua? I've been getting different opinions. Yeah. I would do that trade. I think it's fine.
I'm cool with it.
There could be people now having sort of buyer's regret with Puka Nacua. So even though I was screaming to sell him for a few weeks ago, which was correct, now he's kind of a buy. Like that's how the stock market goes a little bit here with fantasy football. So don't mind buying him after last week. Stoof says he thinks Zach Evans is going to get less snaps than Freeman and or Henderson this week. I think that's fully fair. I'm not sure if anybody could make a confident prediction either way.
You're right.
And honestly, you didn't name Myles Gaskin. I'll tell you, when you least suspect Myles Gaskin, he's going to score a touchdown. So I need to watch out for that. But Stoof is the one who called Ronnie Bell anytime touchdown. So
you're right.
I don't know. Maybe he is the football god. These nuts running backs. Ooh, running back question from before he was trading away the wide receivers before. His running backs are Saquon, Roschon, Spears. Other wide receivers are Puka, Ridley, Wilson, Pittman, Collins, Flowers. Who should I put with Goddard? For Bijan, I have Waller. I mean, if you can somehow do Collins and Goddard for Bijan, then yeah. Or, I would assume you guys would say the same thing for the player you said.
Of course.
But
I don't think, if I'm being honest here, like if I'm the one who has Bijan Robinson right now, I'm not taking any combination of these players in Dallas Goedert for Bijan Robinson.
Same, but, you never know.
Right.
I mean, like if they are actively willing to sell, I think if you want me to say what is a fair trade for Bijan with this, I would say Goddard, probably Goddard and Puka.
Yeah, I'd even add probably.
Like that's probably, and even still, if I'm on the Bijan side, I personally am declining it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm going to guess in order for this trade to be accepted, you're going to have to include a running back, just because there's such a lack of running backs in the NFL right now, and someone is trading away one of the good running backs.
Very true. I'm 5-1. Put up this part of it. I'm 5-1. Should I trade Michael Pittman for Justin Jefferson? Other receivers are CD, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Palmer, and Terry McLaurin. I'm saying yeah, obviously.
Probably, yeah. But when does Jefferson come back? I read 6 to 8 weeks now.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I agree.
Mean, you're 5-1. You have depth out the wazoo. You get Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's like the last infinity stone. You're good.
Okay, yeah, I'm with it.
The only question is, it's not like can his team survive 6 to 8 weeks? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
The question is, if the Vikings have 3 or 4 wins by that time, do they bring Justin Jefferson back?
Right.
And I think they do. But I mean, I think it is a coin flip, but I think they do. He could just be super smart businessman, not putting myself back out there. I don't have a contract yet. But if he's out 6 to 8 weeks, I mean, there's a chance they work something out in season with him too. You know,
Yeah.
who knows? Cool. Any? I didn't compare the running backs, huh? I'm 4 higher on Madison at 15, 4 higher on Rashad White at 16, 5 higher on Gibbs at 22. Jamal Williams, I have ranked at 50, which is higher. He'll probably rise up more once I know he's active, but Jamal Williams is back.
You think?
I think that's a pretty sizable downgrade for Alvin Kamara, in my personal opinion. So if I'm a Kamara owner, I'm trying to trade him.
Are you, if you're in desperate need of a running back, are you looking out to try to go get Jamal Williams on the waivers right now?
If he's on waivers, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be willing to trade something for him. I think there's a chance he gets valuable enough where he is a trustworthy flex, low end RB2. You know?
Yeah, I'm with it.
I am 5 spots lower on Jerome Ford at 19, and I'm 4 spots lower on Zach Evans at 34. And again, I feel like I'm higher than I should be on him, but we shall see. Anything else at running back? Okay, wide receiver 1 is Tyreek Hill. Number 2, Hill plays the Eagles. Number 2 is Kupp versus the Steelers. AJ Brown is 3 versus the Dolphins. Stephon Diggs 4 at the Patriots, and Keenan Allen 5 at the Chiefs. I didn't look up Keenan Allen's stats versus the Chiefs. In my heart, I feel like he goes for 150 every time against them. I don't know. I'll look that up really quick. But Luke, what do you think of those running backs, or wide receivers rather?
I like them a lot. I say every single week, like Tyreek Hill, you can just mark him down now for like 8 catches for 166 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp is obviously, it's like he never left, and he will continue to eat against Pittsburgh, I'm sure. AJ Brown, I'm still very interested in. Devontae Smith missed practice today, so I'm wondering, if that's any indication of Devontae Smith being limited, being out of the game. Probably means AJ Brown's got to see at least a little bit more, right? So I'm with AJ Brown higher this week. And do you have the Keenan Allen stat there? Because this may change my opinion or not.
Well, I said I feel like he goes for 150 every time against them. He's gone for over 100 yards once since his rookie year, so that's not bad. I mean, that was close. Last time he went for 94. Okay, most recent to least recent: 94, 78, 50, 96, 82, 71, 108. Like,
yeah, that's fine. If he finds the end zone, then it's it's a top 7 week.
And 4 touchdowns in the last 6 games against him. So.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that.
So in a way, I wasn't wrong.
Right.
But
I'm not saying you were wrong.
Yeah, me neither. I would never admit that on the show.
Right.
Trevor, what do you think of those wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, to Luke's point, I mean, Tyreek Hill's pretty much got to be number 1 until proven otherwise. Obviously, Kupp's right behind him. AJ Brown is an interesting one. Can he consistently start getting into the end zone? I think that makes a big change. I think if there is a week that he does, I feel like it's this one that he has paid dirt. I'm not really sold on Miami's defense, and I think their offense is going to be able to move the ball enough that Philly has to keep up with them. I don't think that's anything groundbreaking, but I still think people are at least somewhat discounting AJ Brown, and I don't really understand that this week.
Yeah, no real reason to do so. He feels pretty safe, especially with how good he is after the catch and stuff. He feels good. I haven't looked yet. I'm assuming I'm a lot higher on Amari Cooper. I am at 13. He plays the Colts this week. Colts have really struggled against number 1 outside receivers. Yeah. On top of that, I just love Amari Cooper getting to play on turf. I think he's going to be good. And if Deshaun Watson comes back this week, which I assume he does because it's an easier matchup for him, then I think Amari Cooper is very, very, very startable. Zay Flowers have at 19. I think he's an absolute stud. I think he's a lock in your starting lineup going forward, most likely.
Yeah, he's the number one passing option on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of mind blowing, and it makes me a little sad how irrelevant the other wide receivers are on that team, talking about Odell and Rashad Bateman.
There's absolutely nothing.
Nothing. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Wan'Dale Robinson's good. I love the entire Giants passing attack this week, but Wan'Dale Robinson especially, he's a stud who's getting overlooked.
They kind of unleashed him a little bit last week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's been unhealthy his entire very short NFL career so far. I think these next several weeks could sort of be a coming out party for him.
He's a monster at Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Second round pick, I think, last year.
Yeah.
Like, people forget because he barely played. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think his role continues to grow. Definitely a lot bigger last week following their bye week. And Tyler Lockett, I don't think's healthy right now. So he's a guy, deeper league pickup if he is available. Start to think about him. Elijah Moore, same reason as Amari Cooper. I like him. Kendrick Bourne appears to be the wide receiver in New England. He's had some good games. Quentin Johnston, told you so.
Is he just totally like, don't care about him anymore? Just don't even worry about it ever again?
He's just not good yet. I think he's going to be a decent player, but you can't play small when you're that big, and you can't look at any Big 12 wide receiver and look and be impressed.
Right.
Wait, yeah, he is TCU. Like the Big I'm telling you, I can moss somebody in the Big 12 now. Like they are. There's no such thing as cornerbacks in the Big 12. So we can't just keep that in mind going forward. It's so dumb. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
I have a receiver to talk about.
Okay,
good. Is Mecole Hardman worth a pickup?
I picked him up in a really deep league, but like I think it's very, very unlikely he emerges as a wide receiver, a trustworthy wide receiver 3.
Yeah, you're never going to be in a position where you're like, you have to start Mecole Hardman this week, right?
I don't think so. Like, they know what he is. Obviously, he's a big addition for their team, but like I do think if there's one wide receiver to own there, I think it is Rashee Rice. But again, I don't think he's must own. We had a question earlier. I don't think he's somebody I'm trading for. Yeah, I don't know. Weird offense in Kansas City right now. I'm 5 higher this week on Marquise Brown at 12. I'm 7 higher on Amari Cooper at 13. I'm 8 higher on Terry McLaurin at 15. 6 higher on Curtis Samuel at 30. 5 higher on Josh Downs at 36. He's very good at football as well. 5 higher on Elijah Moore at 43. 4 lower on Michael Wilson. 4 higher, on Michael Wilson at 46. And then I'm 6 lower on Chris Olave at 16. I don't know what I missed that is like, okay, yeah, he's a top 10 wide receiver. Wow. I don't understand. 5 lower on Puka Nacua at 17. 8 lower on Calvin Ridley at 24. 4 lower on Cortland Sutton at 37. That's about it for people I care to talk about. Any thoughts about any of those players I just said?
I'm in on Curtis Samuel. Going back to the Sam Howell conversation, like Curtis Samuel found the end zone the last 2 weeks. I think he's kind of I don't want to say, he's kind of the red zone first look for Sam Howell, at least these last 2 games. And I think if you need something to ride, I think you can do worse than riding that.
Matchup's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for Olave, I don't know why we're still treating him like we did when he first came out of the gates as a rookie, when he looked fantastic. But he fizzled out at the end of last year too, and he's just kind of done the same thing to start this year. And I don't think that's his fault or based on his ability. I think it's quarterback play and scheme doesn't help him. But I don't care how many targets he gets. If he can't turn them into points or consistent touchdowns, he's not a top 10 guy. So I don't know, even with buys, why he's top 10. And I don't see him ever being top 10 in a week unless something drastically changes this year.
Like, I'd like to ask all of the people who ranked him top 10, and clearly there's people who's ranking him a lot higher than top 10. If I'm ranking him this low, like there's other people like me, I'm sure, bringing it down. Like, do you think he scores a touchdown? And like, there's no one who can say like, yes, I think Chris Olave scores a touchdown. And if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's not going to be that good. Like, his highest finish this year is wide receiver 14. His second highest is 17. He's been much lower than that every other time. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Is Dennis Allen the most boring coach in the NFL?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I like him, but
he's fine.
If you ask the casual NFL fan, 90% couldn't tell you his name after you showed a picture of him. Yep. And would never, ever even think about saying his name when you ask who's the coach of the Saints.
Yep.
Like, he's non-existent. I bet more people still guess John Gruden. Or, say John Gruden, because he's been in pictures there.
Right.
I just forgot John Gruden wasn't the coach of the Saints for a second. But yeah. I mean, Sean Payton's not much different, I suppose. Stu says trade MVS back to Green Bay.
That's okay.
Nah. It is, though. You're correct that it's a disgrace that MVS suits up for Kansas City, that they allow it. I wonder what they do. Trading for Mecole Hardman. Do they would have to keep 7 wide receivers on the roster. If they bring it down to 6, do they risk putting Justin Ross on the practice squad?
I mean, they did it last year.
He was injured.
You're right. Yeah, I didn't do that.
If he gets put there, someone's going to claim him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It pissing me off watching the Chiefs. Oh, I like the Chiefs. They're very fun to watch. How the fuck is Travis Kelce open every single goddamn play?
He is so good.
So good.
I know people talk about how good he is. I don't think people understand how good he is. He is so fucking good.
Just wide open every single time, 15 yards down the middle of the field.
Well, he sees the field better than Patrick Mahomes does. He has better vision and has a better understanding. Like, they showed a couple weeks ago him pointing to the open guy because he knows the defense, the coverage sucked up this way. Like, this guy's going to be open. He's pointing, telling Mahomes where to throw it too. Like, he's playing quarterback and tight end. It's insane. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's talk about tight ends. Obviously, he is the number 1 tight end. Doesn't matter the matchup, but he plays the Chargers, who, as we all know, he's gone for like 150 yards against them like every time. That's my gut. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. Actually, I kind of remember him being bad against the Chargers. Actually, I'm gonna look that.
No, last year didn't he have like 202 touchdowns? He went the fuck off because they couldn't tackle him.
Right, but every time before that, I think he's really struggled because I remember saying that, and then he got 200 yards, I believe. Let's look really quick. We don't need to talk about tight ends.
We really don't.
We will, because I like tight ends. But
I like tight ends too. You know what I mean?
Ayo. Okay, he's been really good against the Chargers. He only got 115 last year, but he's gone for over 100 3 of the last 4 times. 2 years ago, he got 191 yards against him.
I feel like,
which you could argue is good.
Continue.
I was just gonna say you could say that's a good game.
Well, I feel like you can say that about every team Travis Kelce's ever played in his career.
Who do you think he has the highest average per game against?
Certainly the Raiders.
Ooh.
I'm going to say the Chargers.
Yards per game. The Falcons. Only 2 matchups, but 119. He only has 4 teams where only 2 teams where he averages more than 100 yards against.
Wow.
Overrated.
I guess he's been in the league forever, though.
Right. Yeah. Any weird Kelce stats we could find here? Ooh, let's look at month. Does he have a weird month thing?
We gotta figure this out. How do you stop
I saw somewhere that one of his teammates' brothers is Taylor Swift's backup dancer.
Really?
And who is that?
some no-name player on that team that
Probably,
doesn't start.
probably Jawan Taylor. That dude sucks at football.
Yes, he does. He's not great. There's no way this is a real interesting. Okay, so what? Travis Kelce has never caught a touchdown when the team is up under 4 minutes left. Never.
So
He
he
has
never.
What was that?
He never puts the dagger in.
No. And he's never caught a touchdown less with 4 minutes less or less in the game when the game's tied.
That's crazy.
Only 4 times has he caught a touchdown less than 4 minutes in the game, and they were down.
So teams obviously adjust at halftime. And
Or
said, Kelsey.
Where they leave somebody else wide ass open.
Yeah.
Or the Chiefs completely take their foot off the pedal.
I guess, I mean, how many times have the Chiefs been in close games in the last, how many years?
Right. But even still, it's like close or not, end of the game, they're just trying to go home.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like.
Yeah. I think Andy Reid gets scared after that one time when he did the QB sneak with Mahomes and just shattered his kneecap. I think Reid is like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here now.
True. He does have 2 touchdowns in overtime, though.
Interesting.
So, kind of, Okay, well.
Did you guys see that
This is stupid.
the Chiefs Broncos game last week, 19-8? It was the first time that was a score on that day. It was 1927 was the last time on the exact same day.
Interesting.
Yeah. 2 times ever.
What do we think that means?
I don't know. What's 2023, 19, so 96 years. So every 96 years, that's got to be 19-8. That feels like a really easy gambling win.
I'll make a video of this and I'll schedule it to post 96 years from now.
Give me a future bet.
Yeah. For the people of the future watching this. By the way, I did look at his months, and this is pretty riveting content for you folks at home. We'll get to questions after this, I really promise. Starting in September, he's had 18 touchdowns, 19 in October, 17 in November, and 16 in December. So pretty big difference between those. Like 2.
Whoa.
Progression is coming.
True. Except for he hasn't gotten to play in November and December yet this year, in which case probably be tied across the board. Okay. Also, he averages 1.1 more yards on the road than at home. So does Travis Kelce love Chiefs fans? I don't know. Joe asks, 12-man non-PPR, Tua, Walker, Swift, St. Brown, Ayuk, TJ Hawkinson, flex, Josh Jacobs, Olave on the bench. Start him or keep him on the bench. I am keeping him on the bench.
Yep.
Tua, Walker, Swift, St. Brown, Ayuk, Hawk, flex. Yeah. Yep.
Will this show up on YouTube? Nope. Sorry, Stoof.
Fuck you, Stoof. Don't bring math in here.
No, I think he has a point. We're doing Rain Man shit here.
What is Stu's point here?
I was just naming a bunch of numbers that meant absolutely nothing. Yeah.
The number 20.
Stu's operating on a different level than all of us. I think.
It's like Alan in The Hangover when he's counting cards.
For the people at home who are dying to hear, my tight end 2 is Mark Andrews this week. He plays the Lions. Number 3 is Hawkinson versus the 49ers. Sam Laporta 4 at the Ravens, and George Kittle 5 at the Vikings.
I think top to bottom, those 5 are more fun to talk about than the running backs this week.
Oh, 100%. I also have Evan Engram at 7, who I like on Thursday, assuming Trevor Lawrence plays. Zay Jones was ruled out again.
Fuck.
Evan Engram's been way more consistent than I ever thought he could be with the Jaguars.
Yeah, they found a role for him.
And he stayed healthy, and he's catching passes.
Yeah.
Stoof, that's an incredible movie. Changed my life. Not going to lie. I I went through a number 23 phase, if you can believe
I've
it.
never even heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
The number 23 comes up everywhere, especially once you ingratiate yourself with this phenomena. You'll start seeing it everywhere. Watch the movie. There's so many weird things that come back to the number 23. Scary shit. Weird shit.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, do it.
Okay.
Jonnu Smith, again, like I'm writing him up in the streamers column. Like he's just not owned. People aren't trusting it. I don't know what to tell you. Like at some point you have to just trust it. Either just cross out the name or I don't care what you do. Like Jonnu Smith's one of the most reliable tight ends in fantasy football without scoring touchdowns. Last week was his first time scoring a touchdown. So I think you can play him. I think you can start him in most leagues. I think Kyle Pitts, like we talked about, positive regression, which is my least favorite term of all time, was coming. He led the tight ends in air yards. I thought he was a good play. Last 2 weeks, he's proved it. I'm sure that means a letdown is coming, but he is catching a lot of passes right now. Luke Musgrave, I have at 10. He plays the Broncos. Broncos have surrendered the most fantasy points to tight ends this year. Luke Musgrave, I would assume, gets a little more involved after the Packers bye week. I would assume, like, I don't know. He is one of the very few difference makers, potentially difference makers on this offense in the receiving corps. So it would behoove this coaching staff to,
well, he gets.
This isn't a phrase, but color with the crayons in front of him. I don't know why I wanted to say that.
What was that phrase?
I don't know, but like
I liked it.
I just, like I always say, I picture their fucking play sheets are written in green crayon. So like maybe that's why. I don't know.
But they run specialty plays to him, screens, jet sweeps.
Right, they do. I would love to have them
Triple
run
options.
a seam route. Like, let's do something not behind the line of scrimmage. Let's start there. But against the Broncos, especially, I mean, fucking Alex Singleton's not gonna cover Luke Musgrave up the seam. He's gonna be. He should be open all day.
What up, Dylan?
Man, I don't have this all the way at the bottom. What's up, Dylan? Do you know Dylan? Is Dylan just a cool guy? Okay, he's got a question. He wants something from us. Okay. Move Olave. Move Olave for James Cook and Olave for James Cook for Diggs.
Olave and Cook for Diggs. Yes, do it.
Yeah. Trying to upgrade wide receiver 1 and 2. This is a team for people watching. But yeah, absolutely love that. James Cook isn't in that tier of running backs for you where you're like, I'm asking you too, by the way, where you're like, you know, the running back position's getting destroyed around you. You're not like, I need to keep this guy.
No, I don't think so. I think if you have James Cook, based on what the running backs are, you're like, okay, at least I have someone I can start. But I don't think, like, James Cook's still never going to find the end zone. You know, he's only running between like the 30s and the 30 right now. Now, does the injury to Damian Harris, does that help him at all? Probably not, right?
No, I mean, we saw them go to Latavius Murray heavy last week, and then they thought they needed to bring in Leonard Fournette for a workout, and then they got another guy healthy on their team, so they didn't need the Leonard Fournette workout. So it's like, I think they know what their role is for James Cook.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to grow it ever. Other team too, if you don't mind, just grade it. Any moves or upgrades you're trying to make? Okay. Lost Richardson, has Stafford and CJ Stroud, Tony Pollard, James Cook, Mixon, Khalil Herbert, Spears, Hunt, Diggs, Ayuk, Michael Thomas, Hollywood, Downs, and Andrews. What would I do? What's your guys' thoughts on trading high on Marquise Brown?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Like, I think that you can do something here with, like, you give a Hollywood Brown and you give a James Cook or a Joe Mixon to someone who's in maybe like a 2-4 team who's in desperate need of a running back to get a great wide receiver 2 here.
I think I'm keeping that running back depth if I'm him.
That trio?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm going like Hollywood and Stroud and trying to upgrade to a legit quarterback. personally.
Or I think you could also try to see if somebody will bite on Hunt after one big game. I don't think people should be, but I've seen from waivers and how many people are picking up Hunt in some of the leagues that I'm in. I'm going to be shocked.
I'm not trading away Kareem Hunt at all. Keep him. Pick him up. Play him. The other running back there is Jerome Ford. That's all I have to say. Hey guys, 6-0 says George. My team is Tua, CMC, Kenneth Cup, Olave, Goddard, and James Cook. Should I trade Olave and James Cook for Jamar Chase? A lot of people trading those two, eh? Yeah, I would do that. And should I start Zach Evans knowing CMC could not play?
When does San Fran play this week? I should probably know that.
Monday, I believe.
Tough.
Yeah. I mean, if it's possible, I would rather pick up, Mason or Elijah Mitchell and play them over Evans.
And if you have the chance, I would move McCaffrey to your flex, and then see if you can pick up a Vikings receiver or even a whatever, just so you have some replacement option. But obviously, if McCaffrey's playing, you're playing him. But I think you can go a little bit better than Zach Evans here.
I think we also missed one from Stoof, if I'm not mistaken, earlier.
Oh no! Whoops, I didn't. Oh, you clicked it. I traded Henry. Oh, it's a real question. I apologize, Stoof. I must have scanned over it. I'm like, that can't be him. I traded Henry for Madison and London. Have Eckler and Spears then at wide receiver behind Lamar. 12 team. I don't hate it. I like it. I think I like it.
I like it.
I'm interested. I feel like you could have packaged Henry with Spears and upsold it, though. Because, if you have Spears, wouldn't the new Derrick Henry owner want to own Spears?
Probably.
Maybe not.
If I'm not trading for fucking Derrick Henry without Spears right now. That's the only way I would trade for Derrick Henry. So, I don't know. I don't think it's an amazing trade by any means, but I think you're okay. I think you could have done better. I know you got more in you. You could have done it. Any other to talk about? Trade Olave for Watson and McLaurin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm 5 higher on Michael Mayer at 14.
He's involved.
Raiders are unleashing him. And now they go from Garoppolo to either Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell again. And I expect the tight end to be heavily utilized, and he is good. Not a surprise. I'm 3 higher on Noah Fant at 22. Trey McBride, 3 higher at 23. He balled last week. I don't expect him to do that again, but he's too talented not to be involved. Yeah.
Zach Wentz was just not involved last week.
No, not really. I don't know. Who knows if he's dealing with something or
right.
I think there's going to be a better balance. There.
Agreed.
I'm 4 lower on Gerald Everett at, I can't even fucking read. I'm so blind. At 18, I'm 4 lower on Taysom Hill at 21. People started ranking him high this week because he caught passes last week, I guess. 3 lower on Dalton Kincaid at 25. And that's about it. I think the big takeaway is there's some really unowned tight ends that you can pick up and start right now. Johnny Smith, Michael Mayer, Pat Fryermuth comes back this week. He's owned in under 60% of leagues. He plays the Rams, who suck against tight ends. Not that I love Pat Fryermuth by any stretch of the imagination. He's probably unstartable after this week, but I would start him this week. Any other tight end you want to talk about?
No. Fuck you, tight end.
Jesus. Okay. What kicker would you want for weeks 15 through 16? Folk or Fairbairn? I feel probably like Fairbairn. in my heart, I just feel like Derrick Henry's getting traded.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I want Nick Folk.
I think he's a better kicker. I worry about the competitiveness of Tennessee.
I also worry about teams figuring out CJ Stroud for Fair Baron.
For sure. That's fair. I'm only in 2 leagues this year, so I've only made 35 trades so far. That's not, you can up it. You can get there.
Let's get up to 70, Stoof.
That sounds like a league I want to be in. Santa Claus. What if we had a league where you could only start the players you trade for that week? So
What
it's just
if-
constant chaos the entire time.
Okay, I was just about to bring up, what if you had to make 3 trades a week?
Or that too. Yeah. And you can't, no givesies backsies,
And
obviously.
You can't
You'd
trade-
run out. You'd run out if you couldn't have Givesy backsies eventually.
No, it's not.
No, in the same week.
Givesies backsies is back-to-back weeks, Trevor. It's not like if I traded for somebody in week 1, I can trade it back to him in week 3. But you also can't do 3 trades with the same owner. That's stupid.
Yeah. I think 3 different trades with 3 different owners every single week.
We're on to something here.
Don't
Santa
steal our
Claus.
idea.
Yeah, you can steal that one. It's fine. Just let me play in it. Should I trade Chris Olave for Pacheco half PPR?
Yes.
I don't know.
For me.
Yes.
If you're hurting at running back, I think that's fine. I think it's relatively even rest of season for me. Like, I shit on Chris Olave. I don't think he's a bad fantasy receiver. But, I think it's close. Randy asked best chicken sandwich. Luke, I think you're probably most equipped to answer.
Probably Popeyes, right?
That would have been my guess, my answer. But
yeah, I think Chick-fil-A, I think they've kind of turned into a cult and they're kind of very overrated. Burger King has a good chicken sandwich. I'm assuming we're not talking about the what's the chicken sandwich from McDonald's? The
McChicken.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're not talking about that. We're talking about the crispy chicken sandwich, which is very bad. And I think Wendy's has one too. I think Wendy's is all right.
Wendy's is solid.
Yeah.
Have you tried the new McDonald's chicken sandwich?
Newer? How new?
Like the one when they just started trying to just copy Popeyes and Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
The one in the bag or whatever?
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's fine. Chick-fil-A is for sure overrated, though.
Yeah. Great waffle fries.
I was just about to say waffle fries suck, man. So overrated.
That's a crazy thing to say.
The last time I got waffle fries from there, they were too soggy.
Exactly. Like, if they're crispy, waffle fries, incredible. But they're not usually crispy.
You can say that about every single fry.
Sure. I just feel like the hit ratio's a lot lower on them.
Yeah.
No, I disagree with that.
Really?
I think the
I
hit
think
rate's higher than other fries.
I think tater tots get a bad rep for the same
I agree
reason.
with that. Tater tots are up there. Yes, for sure.
Like when they're done right, then they're good. But if they're soggy, it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
disgusting. Stoof with a good one here, I'm sure. Instead of Vampire League, it's a bipolar trading league. Kind of.
Yeah.
Bipolar, I'm not sure is the right mental illness here. Maybe more schizophrenic or something.
Right. Where you're hearing voices.
Yeah. I do like I like the thought of panicking on Saturday night, being like, I need to make 2 trades and no one's up.
Yes.
That's where
And
it's
somebody
fun.
saying, I don't need to make a 4th trade, so what's in it for me?
Yes.
Exactly. You can totally fuck people too easily.
Stoof, let us know. You will be an honorary member in that league.
Nobody would go undefeated in that league. You know that for a fact.
No. Yeah, there's no shot. There's no shot.
The draft wouldn't even matter, really.
No,
Right.
not at
Yeah,
all.
all matters
Not
is
at
week
all.
1.
Maybe you get one do not trade
Get a
player.
freeze.
Yeah, just one though. Chicken sandwich must have a pickle on it.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yep. Pickles are
What's your,
incredible.
what's your thoughts on spicy pickles?
Love them. I love everything.
Okay, I like spicy.
Except I don't like sweet pickles.
Sweet
I
pickles
like sweet.
suck. Bread and butter
I like
pickles are horrible.
Do you like the famous Dave's ones? They're like kind of sweet but also spicy.
I don't know that I'll have to try them.
Never
I don't
had
know.
them.
Probably not. If I've seen sweet on there, like that just turns me off.
I don't think they say they're sweet. They just are.
Oh, then maybe I have. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like a good dill pickle is like upper echelon of things that you can eat.
Okay.
Got a good snap
maybe.
on it, a good crunch.
I don't like. Maybe I'm a pickle snob. I don't like store-bought dill pickles. I don't like. There's like a weird on some of them. There's like a weird squeakiness against your teeth. I
Yeah, I
can't
know what you
fucking
mean.
do it.
I know what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
like it.
You like the Spears though.
Spears are better. The brand that starts with a V, I think, are the worst.
Classic
Yeah.
are horrible.
Yeah, they eat dick.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not up
Yeah.
to. We'll have to do a power rankings, I guess, one of these weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to do power rankings more on our YouTube.
I like pickles.
My thought was end of football season will actually go hard into the ranking show.
Cool.
Let us know if you want to watch that. I can only imagine Randy and Stu will chaos. Yeah, no shit. I would go undefeated. I average 30 trades per season in every league. I'm a veteran schizo trader. Schizo trader. I like that. That's a t-shirt.
You also
veteran
missed
schizo trader.
You missed Joe, I think. Yeah.
Second league, 12 PPR, Tua, Bijan, Mostert, Ayuk, Evans, Hawk, Aaron Jones, Scary Terry, Flowers. Question mark.
I think
are you
he's
saying
wondering who to put in his flex.
Oh, I'm going Aaron Jones. In my heart, I feel like he gets a big role this week.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player out of those three.
He's the best player on the Packers, too. Tingly. Interesting. 3-3 PPR got offered Diggs for ETN and Devontae Smith. Thoughts? I don't like it.
I hate it.
Now with Smith missing practice.
And it's like, I don't know. Well, no, he would be giving away Smith. You're fine with that then?
I got offered Diggs for my. Oh. No, I thought he was getting Smith.
I'd rather keep Smith and ETN.
Absolutely.
Probably, right?
Like, I understand you probably need to make a trade. I'm just not trading ETN right now.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much going on at running back, so you have one of the top studs at running back right now. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I agree.
If you had to trade, first off, I would trade Alvin Kamara for the reasons I said earlier. Jamal Williams coming back. I would love to trade Alvin Kamara right now. If you had to trade A-Chain or Roshan Johnson this week, or like going forward, I think you could sell both of those guys. But like, which one would you rather part with? Which one do you think you can get more for? Asking you guys, what's your
Probably
thoughts on that?
A-Chain.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Probably more for A-Chain, right? I'm sure everybody's in the same boat as me as they just love Miami right now.
It depends on how much people value the injury, I suppose.
Right.
Like if people are like, obviously you can't trade for someone who needs to start a player this week, but you know, I mean, I think A-Chain's value could go down a shit ton this week though, because I think Jeff Wilson's going to play.
If Jeff Wilson succeeds, that's not necessarily A-Chain's rollback.
Right. Like if Jeff Wilson, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, if he has a multi-touchdown game this week, I think people will, start to figure out, oh, this backfield's actually chaos.
Right.
And I don't want a part of it. So I don't mind trading A-Chain this week. My only other thought was I like Roshan. I think Roshan can succeed and be good. But there's also a chance he gets put in the game this week and he sucks. Yeah. And he gets passed by Deontay Foreman or one of the other guys. But I think I'd be willing to bet on Roshan Johnson.
Agreed. Yep.
Stoof, and then we'll probably end this and start the Packers show in a second. Can I trade Osborne in a redraft? Was thinking maybe Jameson Williams. Is that correct?
I'd rather have TJ Osborne.
I'd rather have Osborne.
I do too. I think you can trade him though. I think he has value.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has the type of value that people are freaking out about though, and I don't think his value drops off. So He's like the perfect bye week fill in rest of the way. Like that's his value right now. But yeah, I don't
think I'm looking to trade KJ Osborne, to be honest.
What's your guys' percentage chance Jameson Williams pops off and becomes like a reliable guy this year?
Low, very low. I mean, we know Jared Goff does not throw the ball downfield.
That's where I'm at too.
Like, is going to see one 60-yard attempt every 3 games.
Yeah, I've been so firm on that stance, and I kind of got suckered into a college highlight rabbit hole with him the other day.
I get it.
I know. I was like, oh, I forgot how good he is.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think the Lions even really have plans to use him. Really.
No.
I don't think so. I think they just let him run deep and let Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown just dominate the middle of the field like they always do, and that'll work every single time.
And they like Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, Khalif Raymond is getting receptions too.
Love Khalif Raymond. Love him. If the Packers could trade for Khalif Raymond, he would instantly be my favorite receiver on the roster.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
They should do it. Love him. With that segue, we're going to end the stream. We will be back in around 10 minutes for the people watching live with Lombardi Sweepy Green Bay Packers podcast, which is just us 3 this week. So definitely come back, hang out, and we will be previewing the week against the Broncos, I'm sure at least slightly. We will be talking more nonsense, probably talking some shit. So come back for that. Be back in a little bit. Bye.